if you can't validate yourself, then you will always run to an outside source to give you the validation. So I'll tell you what I didn't find. What I thought I would find, I didn't. I thought that by getting the physique and everything, that changing it on the outside would fix what was wrong on the inside, but that's not true.
For the most part, we're in a pretty advanced, progressive time where we're relatively safe. Of course, you have to look out for stuff. But human beings for millennia, you go back 1,000 years, 300 years, and if you're living in the mountain, your head is on a swivel. Your brain is wired to go, okay, I got to go hunt.
The Arts Council for Monterey County is here to invest in your creative future. If you're a student, your journey is just beginning. Apply now for college arts scholarships or raise your voice as the next Youth Poet Laureate. Honing your craft? The Arts Council for Monterey County offers individual artist grants and free BusinessWorks professional development workshops. From finding inspiration to building a career, the Arts Council for Monterey County is your creative partner. Learn more at arts4mc.org. That's arts4mc.org.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Offline Xpression. It is a gorgeous Monday to be alive, and we are grateful for every minute that we get. And guess what? We're back. Today I am joined by a very special guest, Mr. Brayden Black. Brayden, say what's up to the people for me.
What's up, guys? Stoked to be here.
Yes, dude, you have the coolest hat ever, man. Just says love gives right there on the front of you. And I feel like that comes off of your aura, off your personality, everything I've read about you and your work, man. I'm so stoked to have you here. Thank you for joining us, man.
Hey, Jeffrey, appreciate you, my man. I'm so stoked to just throw down and have an awesome conversation.
Heck yeah. Well, where are you at right now?
So I'm in Orem, Utah.
Utah.
Pretty basic little spot, but yeah, Utah's where I call home. So
excellent. It's a beautiful, beautiful state.
Yeah, lots of parks. We were down in St. George this past weekend doing some hiking down there in southern Utah. A little red rock action. It was fun.
Oh.
So Utah's definitely a great spot.
Little red rock action. I love it, man. Beautiful. I've only been to Utah, I think maybe once when I was young. No, actually twice. It was like I was going to Oklahoma and we kind of like were driving around, like doing like a 3-week vacation, going through places, and the beauty of that area is just breathtaking. It'll stop you in your tracks. And it kind of links to exactly what we're doing here today, talking about like sometimes you got to look up at the beauty of natural life, and when you're in a beautiful place, it makes it a little easier, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, we're all stuck in the rat race and we don't want the rats to win. So let's get off the hamster wheel. Oh, they're hamsters and rats, I guess. I don't know. All that jazz. So how are you today, man? Happy Monday.
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, it's like 73 degrees outside. We woke up, got a nice little workout in, some little scripture study this morning. Like, we're just feeling ready to go. I mean, there's no better way to start off a morning than to do a podcast and just talk about what you're passionate about and be here to help and lift and inspire people. So I'm like, this is a great Monday, man. A lot of people say Mondays are terrible, but I'm like, bro, I mean, you just scheduling your Mondays wrong. If you schedule them right, you're going to have some awesome Mondays.
Yeah.
So this is one of them.
Yep. I love that. And, fueling up, right? Like little workout, little scripture dive, like you said, the things that we need for our own habits to feel good and to have that exact positive approach. I mean, I'm here for all of that. Add it to the day, especially when you start that way. You start your day right. First of all, you're feeling good, and you start your week right. Like you said, if Mondays are generally hard in that regard, there's a way to change that mindset and that attitude, and then you start attracting the good stuff anyway. And so it all becomes better and better and better. And before you know it, you wake up on a Monday, you jump out of bed, you're like, let's do this. I'm excited. What kind of life am I going to change today? What am I going to do for me today? You know what I mean? Becoming your own best friend and then giving that back is a beautiful way to start. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, okay, Brayden, without further ado, we're going to get right into this, okay? So I see that you do a lot of work with youth. You're coaching people. You're young, right? You've been through stuff, but you're still very young, right? And so sometimes that has a tendency to take away from people's credibility somehow. And I
Mm.
find that the stuff that happened to me from 19 to 23, oh my gosh. That's why I'm writing a book, right? Like some of the stuff that you wish I know some really great young people, and you would be on that list because they say wise before your time or wise for your age, you know what I mean? Mature for your years and all that kind of stuff. But it's true. Like there are people who have this outlook at a young age that give them purpose and drive, and they're already empowering others. And that is a special thing. Sometimes it's a special thing that can't be taught. Other times
Mm.
it's experience driven. You go through the down to get to the up. And so what I'd love to do, man, is just give you the mic and have you introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us about you and what you do and give us the lowdown, man. Go for it.
Yeah. So my rough little spark notes is that I was a kid that looks, I mean, if I were to show you a picture of me in junior high, I look completely different than what I do now. And I was this scrawny twig of a kid that like was socially awkward, extremely low self-esteem, not confident. Like that was me. And I struggled really, really badly with anxiety. I recognize now looking back, I just had terrible thought patterns and limiting beliefs that were going through my head. Anyways, grew up in Utah, amazing family and very faith-based home. But yeah, things didn't really like click for me. I kind of like make the analogy with kids that I'm talking to is like, you know, like when you're sitting in math class and the teacher talking, but like the math ain't mathin'. It's
Yeah.
like that's kind of what life felt to me like, not just within faith, but also just about life and where I was going. Anyways, I struggled really badly with this for years, and I got to a point where I had a mentor. I was on a humanitarian trip. And she's like, Brayden, I want you to write down every positive gift, quality, talent, attribute, or characteristic that you possess. And this eventually, I didn't know this at the time, but this would become my personal I am statement or my personal creed / manifesto in a way, and set me on this trajectory of then I got into a coaching class. You know, I'm still a student. I'm still very young. And when you talk about, you know, I believe there will be more young people making an impact in this day and age and in the future than ever has been before, because we have
Yep.
more resources than ever before
Right.
to be able to go out, make an impact, and to do good. And so I feel extremely blessed to be able to be led and guided to take certain classes and feel certain things, like I need to push certain messages out there. And so my journey is I used to be a teacher, like a religious teacher in my faith, and I would teach the youth every morning. That was my job, and I got paid to do it. And that's what my career was. I wanted to do, and God was like, "Nah, I got something better." I didn't know what better was at the time, but He's just like, "You got to quit." I was like, "What do you mean?" So got into this coaching space through the help of a friend who's like, Brayden, you'd be really good at this. And I was like, okay, I'll try it out. I'm a spontaneous guy. Loved it. And I started working for a couple of businesses doing coaching. And eventually it was around October of last year. So about 6 months ago, I just felt like I was learning all these principles and coaching all these people and working with the youth. And I was like, I need to push this out there to more people. Like, I think when you're changed by something, you're not content with just holding it in with what's inside of you. I mean, that's the same for you, Jeff. That's why probably one of the reasons that motivates doing a podcast is like there are messages that need to go out there to more people. And so
Mhm.
that's how I felt about
Yep.
coaching. So I got Instagram for the first time back in October, and like never had social media before that. I was just never somebody that was on socials. Like I didn't see a real benefit to it.
Good for you.
But I just like wanted to share a message, and just like that was another way to like attract business and
Yeah.
hopefully get people to like start coaching.
Using it for its intended purpose for your, the promotion of your passion rather than the downfalls that it could cause. I think that's great.
Right. Yeah. One of my best friends, he says that we need to create more than consume.
Mm.
And however much time you spend consuming, we'll say social media is one of the easiest way we consume, whether that's TV, social media, phone time, whatever. You need to spend equal, if not more time creating than you do consuming. And so to me, it became this stage of like creating and trying to push out videos and content and whatnot. And that's what it started. And then it's completely just it's gone so many other places from there. And I'm so grateful for it. And now I started my own coaching business doing it, and then speaking and doing podcasts, and just like the scripture that Jesus says in the Sermon on the Mount, he's like, don't hide your candle under a bushel, but like put it on like a stick and let it shine. And I'm just like, yeah, like let's not settle for candles, but let's be flamethrowers. And I
Ooh,
think we have more ability to be flamethrowers in this day and age and just hold up your light in whatever aspect that is. And that in short is what I'm trying to do now. So anyways, that's a little Spark Notes version of what we're trying to do right now.
wow, man, that's so cool. So many things about your journey here are like linked perfectly to our mission. Okay, um, I don't want to twist anything, but I do find it ironically wonderful that you are already doing what you do as a public speaker, as an inspirational teacher, and as somebody who does coaching at such a young age, and you just got on social media recently. I mean, there is
Yeah.
definitely some sort of a link there because especially when you were dealing with the anxiety and the low self-esteem and lack of confidence at a young age, had you then been saturated by the social media stuff of the world, it could have taken you the other direction. You could have spiraled in a totally different way because it links at an impressionable age when things are like that. And when you're already dealing with struggles, it could have gone the wrong way. And so, I mean, I don't know the specifics, but I have to chalk it up to great parenting, family support. Anybody who is faith-based, I believe wholeheartedly as a psychology professor that when you believe something, it's real. I don't care
Yeah.
what the insert religion, whatever one it is, when you are so rooted in it and it's based in like love and truth and connection and family and support, those vital moral pillars become a part of who you are, regardless of what the religion is. And so families that support their children through those harder times, look at what you've come out and been able to do. So I don't even know who they are, but I have to imagine they had a really positive impact and they're very supportive of what you do. Would that be close?
Yeah. Yeah. I think they have always been there as a support. They are people that definitely they are comfortable, and they're not as expressive. I'm the black sheep in my family. I'm the get out of a house kind of a rebel, like
Uh-huh.
loud extrovert guy. They're more like homebody, stay at home, quieter, and they're amazing because I'm been blessed to have those attributes come into coaching, because this expressive kind of rebel extrovert is great for podcasts and public speaking,
Mhm.
getting out there, meeting lots of people. But the intimate one-on-one setting that was at home, the quieter one-on-one interactions is what plays really well into this coaching side, and that I'm very grateful for, that I've been able to have both
Right.
experiences now kind of mesh into one.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang, right? It's like you gotta have balance in life. It's a really important thing because you gotta be you. You gotta take your traits and your emotion and your passion and do it. And it doesn't always have to match everybody else, but that quiet support, that foundational piece is always gonna help. So, great. So let me ask you, obviously you said you went through this tough time in a young age and you mentioned being scrawny and self-esteem and confidence issues and such, and like all those are connected, right? So tell us a little bit about how your personal journey from those darker or harder times that you struggle with, what did you find? I mean, I know that you said your faith was a real big part of how you kind of climbed out of those things, but how did you find this calling besides somebody saying, "Hey, you know what? You should do this. You'd be good at it. All right, I'll try it." Being spontaneous, sure.
Yeah.
Like when somebody offers you that opportunity and it's knocking, taking advantage of those and taking those risks is also a part of it. But the personal journey, what would you say are the things that really helped you fight through those and see this other side to where you can not only be comfortable, build your own confidence, but also share that with others?
Yeah. And I'll play this in a little bit of an interesting way. I'll tell you what I didn't find.
Okay.
And so as this scrawny kid, whatnot, junior high school, I got injured. I was a big soccer player, and I got injured the week before tryouts my sophomore year. So that put me in PT. So PT is all about how do you rehabilitate yourself, your muscles to get back to where you were. So that because of that put me in the weight room. It's like, let's get you back to where you were. I get in the weight room and I notice all of these people in there that I'm like, dude, I want to look like that. Like, that is insane.
Right.
Like, these amazing physiques and these awesome people. And it was like, bro, I want to get that like respect and that attention and that praise and whatnot, because I didn't have that before. I wouldn't say I got bullied as a kid, but you could say picked on. And so I was like, bro, ain't nobody be messing around with me if I be looking like that. And so I like hit the weight room and I became the gym bro in high school. That's what I was known for. I had an amazing transformation, amazing glow up, but I didn't fix what was wrong on the inside. I got everything fixed on the outside. Everybody else could say, oh, that's Brayden, man. He looks so confident. He looks so good. And I got it all. I got the praise. I got the attention. I got the accolades and the respect. But it came from an outside source. I got validated by everybody else except myself. If you can't validate yourself, then you will always run to an outside source to give you the validation. So I'll tell you what I didn't find. What I thought I would find, I didn't. I thought that by getting the physique and everything, that changing it on the outside would fix what was wrong on the inside, but that's not true. And I think so many of us will turn to an outside source. There's one of my favorite quotes, and I really hope I don't botch this, but something along the lines of like, what you don't need will never satisfy you, because what you don't, I need to pull up this quote and find it.
Yes, I want to hear it. Already the first part of it is great. What you don't need will never satisfy you. Already, that could be its own quote, right?
Well, right. Yeah, I feel like I just need to take a pause on this and find this, because this is...
Yeah, definitely. And I love that you're already dropping some pearls about the external sources and validation, because in almost every way there are, in psychology at least, whether it's social psychology or the development of certain time periods, like we have two sources, right? There's the internal and the external, the intrinsic and extrinsic. You're either going to justify internally or externally. So you already hit the nail on the head about that. Like, what we show to the world, impression management is important, and we do gain something from that for sure. The social acceptance of all those external validations it feels good. But like you said, if you haven't changed something internally, it's not gonna stick, or it could still go the other way. You find it?
I found it.
Okay, hit me.
So it says, you can never get enough of what you don't need, because what you don't need can never satisfy you.
You can never get enough of what you don't need. Like a bottomless pit.
I'll just say it again, because it's such a banger. You can never get enough of what you don't need, because what you don't need can never satisfy you.
Yeah, the implications of the opposite are brilliant. They're right there. That you can hear the antithesis, which is you need to go get what you need, and that's how you become satisfied.
Yeah. So for me, I was trying to fill a cup of things that I thought would fill the cup. But in a sense, it's like I have not done any work on the inside. And so that's very easy for people to see, like, Brayden, you got all this stuff, you're looking great. But my self-talk was it was awful. Now, another one of my hitting points, eventually, it takes me a couple of years to finally get into the self-help, self-development space, and I start doing and learning how to train my brain and my thought patterns and work through, who am I? One of my best friends, Todd Sylvester, I love this story that he shared with me one time. He works a lot with people in addiction recovery and helping people out there. And he said that he had a mom come in, heroin addict, and they're sitting across from each other in the room, and he asks her, he's like, so who are you? And she replies back to him and says, I'm a mom. And he looks at her dead straight in the face and he says, "No, you're not." And she's like, "Excuse me? Like, what do you mean I'm not?" She's like, "Who you are makes you good at being a mom. Mom is a label. Who you are is what makes you good at what you do. Who you are, I am light, I am love, I am passionate, I am empathetic. All of these good qualities, traits that we possess are what make us good at being what we call ourselves. Before we were ever given labels, we were born with an identity. So as soon as I had this label is like, I'm a gym bro, I'm this, I'm that, like that's what my identity was attached to.
Okay.
But here's the thing, if this is why, when you talk about people with athletics, they get injured and they have this moment where everything's ripped away. I'm a football player. I live, eat, breathe football, and then I get injured and I'm not doing football anymore. Everybody's like, well, who am I?
Yeah. What am I now? Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a football player, but who you are makes you good at playing football. And so for me, I had to do a lot of this rework and say, no, this is who I actually am, my I am statements. And they make me good at being a public speaker or a coach or a friend. Those are the things that ground me in who I am. And then I don't have to seek validation extrinsically from anybody else, but it just solely comes from within. And as soon as you can be the one to validate and praise and appreciate yourself, you'll never have to run to another outside source to look for any of it.
It's beautiful, man. And I talked about wise beyond your years earlier without even having heard all this, and you can come teach my class anytime because that is exactly it, man. The becoming your own best friend is so important. And you hear pieces of this throughout movies and TV and life, and like public speakers will tell you, whenever you see somebody in a relationship, right? I tell my students, anybody ever been in a relationship and it went really bad and it didn't work out? And then you go and you meet somebody and maybe you're in another relationship and somehow it doesn't work out. That cycle will continue because if you're not connected here and the love for you isn't there, you don't set boundaries, you don't really defend that person inside, and it cannot be shared the way it really needs to until you're trying to have somebody else love you, but you don't love you. And that's going to be a problem because eventually it's going to be a conflict between the two of you. You don't agree on that and you don't even know why and can't name it. You can't see it really, but something just starts to erode and something that's really good for you. Maybe it's a great relationship. Some weird little things start to come and happen and it starts to become almost sabotaged subconsciously. This happens in everything. And so when you get to the top of your external stuff, right? The respect, the praise and all that stuff. But that's all on the outside, like you said. We are, we live in a pretty safe society. I mean, all things considered, right? There's very low chances of, you go to work, you go to school, you go to the gym, you go to wherever you go, your offices and such. For the most part, we're in a pretty advanced, progressive time where we're relatively safe. Of course, you have to look out for stuff. But human beings for millennia, you go back 1,000 years, 300 years, and if you're living in the mountain, your head is on a swivel. Your brain is wired to go, okay, I got to go hunt. There's animals out there. There's dangerous stuff. There's snakes, there's spiders, there's whatever, plants. You have to be ready. There's a self-preservation that is a natural part of who we are as an animal. So now fast forward with all of our amazing work that we've done to give us a safe society, there's nothing to pick apart and look around and be terrified of all the time. So what we do is we start to internalize a lot of that. And so we have negative thoughts and self-talk that happen sort of almost automatically sometimes. Like, you drop something on the ground, you're like, oh my gosh, what an idiot. Like you're listening to that. Like you call yourself an idiot for something so minor, and it takes like 8 positive things to say to yourself to negate one negative one. So if we're not practicing those positive things, the negatives will outweigh it quickly. It
Yeah.
takes effort. You have to try.
Yeah.
You have to really look at it and say, just like you said, I am statements. What am I? Who am I? I'm good. I'm passionate. I'm kind. I'm respectful. I'm loyal. Whatever those things are, and then they carry to all the labels, just like you said. I think that's brilliant, man.
Yeah. And what I always tell people when I work with a client, I say, I want you to write this down on a physical piece of paper, your I am statements, because we know a lot of science between what your brain thinks faster than you can speak or write. So when you speak or write, you have to slow down. Your brain has to think harder about what it is and internalize it. So write it down. Write down every positive quality, gift, talent, attribute, characteristic that either you know you possess that you've forgotten, somebody else has told you, or God or a higher power or something beyond you, whatever that is for you. I want you to compile that list. I want that thing to be fat. I want that thing to be big. And you might say, I can't put a lot of things on that list. I'll tell you a story. When I was teaching this religious class to a bunch of teens one time, I asked them, I said, hey, I want you to write down 5 things that you love about yourself. Only 2 of them can be physical. And they couldn't do it.
Yep. I knew you were going to say that.
And we looked at the front of the classroom and I'm like, guys, how could you not write down 5 things that you love about yourself when I could stand up here and call you name by name and say at least 15? One of the things that I am the most passionate about right now that I'm starting to discover a little bit more is we spend so much time focusing on what we're bad at and what we need to improve on.
Yeah.
Which is great. We love self-development. We love improving. But imagine this, Jeff. Imagine if we spent equal, if not more time on what we were already good at compared to what we need to work on. That is my challenge to people. For every minute that you spend being self-critical, even if it's positive criticism and you're trying to work on something, you need to spend equal, if not more, time on recognizing and remembering and internalizing what you are already doing good at.
Yeah.
That's my hot take, and I will throw that out there to as many people that are listening to this. If you are spending 15 minutes a day working on something you feel like you're not already good at, then you need to be spending at least 20 remembering what you are good at. And when you can remember those gifts, I mean, that self-talk is huge. You have got to be like, imagine if we lived in a world where we spent as much time thinking about what we were already good at versus what we need to improve. I think we'd be miles ahead of where we're already at right now.
Yeah, because then you attract that and you see it in others. It's like it's a web, the network. It's insidious. It starts to come out from you and spread to others, and that's really, it's a real thing. And people, when you get to that point and you feel that, oh man, it's wonderful. You know, I was thinking about you teaching your students and saying that to them and the list, and that always is a mind blower for me too. As I've been writing my book, I've been doing a lot of research on these things, and one of the most common things I kept coming across is statistics about the mirror, right? The mirror moment. Like, it's amazing that human beings, we all, look in the mirror many times a day, specifically in the morning, or maybe specifically at night as we're getting ready for bed, or in the morning when we're getting ready for our day or whatever. But the statistic on the rarity of how often people look into their own eyes at themselves is remarkable. You'll check your hair, you'll look at your shirt, you'll check this out, you kind of see if there's stuff on your face, but stopping and looking back at the person looking into the mirror, it's so wildly amazing how uncomfortable that is for so many people. So on my first day of class, I encourage that. I say, you're going to have homework every single day, and here it is. You're going to look in the mirror every day, twice, minimum. You're going to look right into those eyes, and out loud, you are going to tell that person that you love them and that you're proud of them. And everyone gets, they start gross, right? Like, people just fall apart with that. And I'm like, I know, I get it. At first, it feels a little awkward and uncomfortable. It almost feels like you're doing something wrong. You're saying something inappropriate. Like, it's so wild that it's uncomfortable, right? Your brain is powerful. What you say, you got to repeat it. It's a habit. you'll start to believe it, and it changes your day. It changes the way you feel. It changes the way you react to others. It changes the way you attack stuff. It'll feel like a lie at first, maybe, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead, lie. If that's a lie, you say that anyway. You tell that person that and do that every day, and then until it's no longer a lie. It doesn't feel awkward. It's real. And tell me in 30 days that your life hasn't changed. I promise. And it is,
Yeah.
3 weeks into class, I'll be like, how are we doing on our homework? Some are like, falling apart still. Some are like, I can't believe it. I just don't do that. It's not that they forget. It's not that they forget. They may be staring in that mirror and go, I just can't do it. And others will tell you, I started doing that right away. And you're right. I can't believe it. Like I feel better, this, that, and the other. And so it's powerful. What you're saying is so good. And I'm 43. You're like 20 years younger than I am. And you're already telling people this. It is great. The amount of people we need doing this out in the world is so important. So I appreciate that you're doing that with these people.
Thank you.
Man, it's so important. And I could see it coming out of you. For the minute I saw you on the screen, I was like, this guy got it. He's got it, man. I see it. So tell me more about the coaching thing. So like you do one-on-one coaching, you do group coaching. Is it classes oriented? Do you just wherever it's needed? How do you run your coaching style?
So I do the majority of it is just one-on-one, a call a week, 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll take a specific thing that they're struggling with, and that's what we'll hit for the whole entire time. Average person will be about 6 to 8 weeks that I'll work with somebody. That may change, but Wednesday I'm actually starting a pilot program, more of like trying to think about launching like a 12-week course where I will run through, because I'm super passionate about like identity, confidence, life skills, and relationships. That's the other. So my major is marriage and family at the university that I go to. So when you talk about relationships and connections, love that stuff. Like I'm huge about relationships, and a lot of people, especially young adults, struggle a lot with relationships. I mean, older people do too, but that's a time when you're trying to figure yourself out, but also you're like, I like this kind of person, but there's like so many other struggles and things that go on there. So I'm trying to start a program, a 12-week program for individuals that want to learn more about those. And that's something that's been new because I haven't done one of those before. So for the majority right now, it's just one-on-one, but getting more into group courses and workshops and stuff like that.
Good, man. Yeah, a 12-week program is great. I mean, one-on-one coaching is so powerful because people often, therapy has had a stigma around it forever, right? There are still cultures to this day to where if you have to go to a therapist, it's considered a weakness. It's considered something that's maybe beneath people, but coaching is essentially it's a line. It's therapy adjacent, because what you're doing is almost like cognitive behavioral therapy, because what you're doing is you're listening to somebody and tell you what they feel and what they need to work on or things that they're struggling with. And when you're a coach like you are, what you're hearing is all the stuff that's not being said at the same time. And so then propose an intervention, right? Okay, I want you to write down all these things, or I want you to, twice this week, I want you to recognize when this happens or that happens and write down how you deal with it. And then we'll talk about that. I want you to try saying this the next time that moment happens, or maybe trying this, and it's like coaching is building skills that effectively negate those challenges or help them get past those obstacles. And a 12-week program there's something innate about goal setting, right? There's mini goals, and then there's like the main, what are we trying to do here by the time we get to the end? And so I think that you'll probably be very successful in that. And then group work obviously is really good, especially if you're already majoring with like marriage and family. The family unit is a really complex type of group because we have roles and we have, the do's and don'ts of family roles as you learn growing up. So sometimes those roles have to be challenged a little bit in order for people to really see and hear the other people in their group, because otherwise they think they're doing everything pretty well. I'm playing my part, you're playing your part, and this is how our relationship is. But when somebody wants to say something else or do something else, and it's just not brought up because they think it's not my role. Communicating with them on that stuff is important. So how do you, first of all, what year are you in your university studies? Are you close to graduation? Are you still a ways out? Are you continuing it? Where are you at with that and how it relates to what you're coaching on?
Yeah, so I am going into my senior year, technically, I believe. And so we got about another year or two left. I actually used to think I wanted to do physical therapy for a long time. And so I was in a different major for about a year. And so we've been catching up on some of this on this marriage and family side. But I love using this because I love coaching people about relationships. That's one of my top favorite things that I love because in relationships, it brings up so much about identity, confidence, self-talk, limiting beliefs in this arena
Mm.
because now it's involved with another person and all of the insecurities and all of the things come out. And so this exactly what we've been talking about is just relationship problems can often be a symptom of a lot of the things that we've been talking about this entire time.
Mm.
And I do marriage coaching as well. There's a couple that I'm working with right now, married for a while, have kids. It's incredible and amazing getting to work with like older couples
Mm-hmm.
that have struggles and challenges in their marriage and things that they're going through. And I feel very blessed and very just like honored to be able to be in a space to help as many people as possible because that's really all I want to do. And I mean, I love my major because I can walk out of class and use it immediately
Yeah.
because it's just about people. And so that's one of my favorite things that I love about what I'm studying.
Awesome, man. Are you going to continue after you finish your undergrad?
I thought so. I don't think so anymore.
Taking
Because
off,
initially it was like the only realm that I would go into is like social work or MFT.
Mm.
But I'm like, coaching's my thing, man. And I'm
Yeah.
just really trying to get this to blow up. And so I'm kind of already doing what I want to do. So I don't
Right.
really see more doing like a master's or post-grad side, but I love learning and I
Mhm.
love knowledge. So I love to continue to keep studying on different techniques
Yeah.
or models, certifications, trainings, and all that. Just maybe not at a university level. Who knows? See though.
Yeah, and you can always go back later. You can make that decision in 10 years if you wanted to. Okay, it looks like I'm ready for that, and the path can always be there. And so, it kind of lives up to your own coaching in terms of like, if you're going to spend this much on this, what things you need to work on, you got to spend X amount or more on what you're already good at. And if you're already doing it, and you're going to finish this degree, keep pouring your time and attention into it because you love it and you're good at it and you're going to have the credentials to back it already. So that's
Mm,
really the platform and foundation that you've already built for yourself, which is cool. Um,
yeah, thank you.
yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm with you. I love that you said I could walk out of class and use it like that. I tell my psychology students, I say, look, the reason I like psychology as a science is because if you wanted to do chemistry today, what would you need? And they're like, beakers, chemicals, lab coat, lab. I was like, you need such a list of things if you want to go into do chemistry today. If you want to do
Right.
physics today, you're going to need this, that, and the other. If you're going to use psychology all day long, from the minute you open your eyes to the minute you go to sleep at night, because this voice up here never stops. You take
Yep.
them wherever they go and they are loud. And if you're not working on this, it affects every other thing. So like you said, relationships and people, it's such a wonderful thing to work in when you get it, because most of the time, little tweaks to be the biggest difference, right? It's communication, it's how we present, it's understanding, it's empathy. And if you can master these sort of pieces, it goes along with the other ones that you listed with identity and these other pieces that coincide with building that confidence, making sure that you're leading with your own, uh, boundaries and self-worth and personal love for yourself, and then sharing that with others. And if you can always lead with that place of curiosity, relationships just get better. They just do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that in mind, talk to me a little bit about, you know, when we talk about like public speaking, right? Like
Mm,
talking in front of groups. You did this for a long time. you were working in more in like a religious setting, right? Talking to youth every
Hey,
day, and you got paid to do that and everything. Shift over a little bit to coaching, and now you're in the collegiate world. What do you think that looks like going forward if you were to like niche onto a specific category? Like if you had like a keynote address that was 45 minutes or something like that, a presentation.
mm,
What does that look like? What is the through line of that conversation and that niched down summary to talk to a lot of people to spread a message? What's it called? How's that work?
the idea of what I have it's called born to be royalty. Essentially, it's like you were born to be a king, you were born to be a queen, and it stems from the movie Lion King.
Love it.
I love that movie, and essentially, it's taken like I see that movie in a broader scheme of like this is our life now and the journey of like our minds. I mean, I'll run you through it quick. You have a Simba, the second song in the movie. I can't wait to be king. Like this is who he knows who I'm gonna be. And my biggest thing that I love telling people is imagine what it would be like if everybody dreamed like they were 3 years old again. Imagine if everybody lived life walking around like they were 3 years old again. What would they dream? What would they do? What would they not do? Simba, he has this thing. He's like, I'm a king. Like, this is what I'm going to be. Dad, I'm going to take your spot. It's mine. And I think that's how we all started out as kids. We were limitless. Nobody put limits on us.
Mm-hmm.
And then Simba has this experience, tragic moment, and he has somebody tell him, run.
Mm-hmm.
You're no good. You're not going to be a king. It's not for you. You will never be king. Don't ever come back. So we have an experience. We get rejected. We have a crash out, failure, whatever it is, and we run. The self-talk starts coming in. It's like, I am statements, because one of my best friends, he said this too, is the words that follow I am follow you. So if I am not confident, not capable, not worth it, not worth loving, I am never going to be in a relationship, I am never going to be a king, then that's how I show up.
Yeah.
And so that's what Simba starts talking and telling himself. And I think that's what we start doing too, is the I am statements become the negative instead of I am capable, confident, smart, beautiful, talented, whatever it is that you want to throw into the end of that. So we run. And this one of my friends, he told me this story about this whole Lion King, story playing out. He's like, Pumbaa and Timon might be the two greatest undercover villains of all Disney history. Why? Because they took a king and made him believe that it was okay to eat bugs. They took him from royalty to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, Hakuna Matata. It doesn't matter what you do. To forget about the whole king thing. Like, it's fine. Like, that's not you. Like, just come out here, no responsibilities, nothing. Now, we love them. They're great characters and they're hilarious. But then he has this Rafiki moment, this callback where he sees and he's led to this pool, right? And Rafiki's like, look a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look who's actually in you. And then he has this whole visionary moment with his dad. And honestly, that's got to be like one of the most powerful, like 5 minutes of the whole movie. Like, I cry like when I see that thing. And we have the stage of remembering this is who I am. I am not my circumstance.
Yeah.
My circumstance does not dictate that I am or am not a king. It's just who I am. So he has this Rafiki visionary moment experience with his dad, and he goes back. He's like, I'm taking it.
Mine.
And I see this cycle of life. And that's ultimately what this message is around, that I would love to share with people just on even bigger platforms and stages, is we go from this 3-year-old mentality, dream big, I'm going to be an astronaut, I'm going to go work for the CIA, like whatever the heck you wanted to do. And then we settle. We have an experience that makes us believe that we're not that. We can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
We have then therefore no limits on us. And we live this kind of life that's not according to our potential or our capacity.
Right.
And the speech is designed to give them the Rafiki moment, the visionary experience with the father, right? To see this is who I am. And it's one of the best stories that I've ever heard. And as soon as I heard it in that light, I was like, dang, that's me.
I love
And
that.
that has been. So that's what I just want to push out there to more people. You are a king. You are a queen. You were born to be royalty.
Yes. Born to be royalty. Hey, that is a great answer to that question. I've asked that before, and I'm a theater guy. So like I raised as a Disney kid, love The Lion King, one of my favorite shows. And then the Broadway version, I mean, there's deeper, more intense songs in there that even completely support and like really would layer in even more on what you're talking about. I think that would be a great way to approach people, because everybody knows that story. And if you don't,
Right.
like, you did a great job summarizing it in that regard. I love the Timon and Pumbaa take, because there is something really interesting there. As you were saying it, I'm like, wow, I've never thought of it that way before. But the more I was listening to you, I'm like, he's on to something here, because what we look at today, the digital world, the social media stuff, it's like encouraged complacence, right? It's like, it's okay, just relax and doom scroll for a while. And it's being masked as self-care. It's being masked as self-care becomes avoidance. Self-care becomes distraction. Self-care becomes anything that can take you away from your natural abilities, your productivity, and you striving towards a goal. And I had a guest that told me one time, he said, when a kid's been on like a tablet all day, or they've been watching TV all day, and then they've just been playing on a phone all day and stuff, like, you notice if you just ask them, how do you feel? What is their answer 99% of the time? Oh, I'm just so tired. And they haven't done anything. It drains the brain of its natural dopamine, because it's like a slot machine that's just stealing with their engagement. And so in some ways, I started thinking of it like, I'm like, Timon and Pumbaa kind of represent our current state of encouraged just connection.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't care. It's just malaise and total weird affect that's like just blank, and it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, how do you feel? Something's wrong. Something's missing. Something doesn't feel right. And it's going to catch up eventually. And it's just the pounding on this breaking moment that can come. So, man, I can't wait to see that name out there when you're coming this direction, man. I'm going to bring you out here to Central California, and you're going to be in front of some people, and you're going to talk about this stuff. That is going to happen, man. I'm stoked on that. All right. I got another question for you. You have a really good way of talking about mindsets, and obviously as a coach, you're able to hone in, right? It's based on the person, whoever you're coaching. Everybody has their own set of stuff, but there's some foundational things that you always have to start with, right? So like, what mindsets do you personally think are like the most limiting and the most common among people, and especially our youth today?
Yeah. In other words, victim mindsets is what I call them. The most limiting is, I can't do it. I don't have enough time, or there will never be enough time.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, that one's a bad one. We could go off and on like about that one for a long time, but
right.
I am not worthy. I am not worth it. I will never get in. Whether we talk about, a school or a program or a team or a club or whatever that is. Essentially, any mindset that prevents you or puts you in a state of not being your full self to go and perform at whatever the thing is that you think or you want to have happen is a limiting victim belief. Victim or victor. There's an analogy that I love that somebody told me one time. He's like, you can be a thermometer or you can be a thermostat. A thermometer will read the temperature outside. If it's cold, it's going to say it's cold. If it's hot outside, it's going to read that it's hot. But boy, if you want to be an agent that acts and be a victor instead of a victim, then you be a thermostat. If it's cold outside and you want it hot, then you turn it up. If it's hot outside and you want it cold, you turn it down. You're the one that gets to pick.
Oh, I
You're
love
the one
that.
that gets to decide. So be a thermostat, not a thermometer.
Oh man, that is great. I love it. You did two at once, man. The victim or victor with the thermometer or the thermostat. Both of those are fire. I love it, man. That is great.
Thank you.
You know, I had a mentor once, a coach, I guess, that said, you know, you could be a gatekeeper or you could be a tour guide. Gatekeepers just want to keep people out. No, 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 no. We've never done it that way before. We don't do it like that. We haven't done that. They're afraid to make the move, to make the change, and they keep you out, but they're also keeping themselves out. A tour guide says, let's check it out together. Let's go walk around and look at it. Let's see what it is. What do we need to do? Or what do we want to do? It's not all doom and gloom. It's not like you must change. It's opening the eyes. It's taking the blinders off. It's recognizing that you can be the thermostat and you don't have to be the thermometer. Some people can't get out of that cycle of, they call it basically learned helplessness, right? It's like victimization cycle and willful ignorance. You can call it that sometimes. And that's just this overwhelming connection to being comfortable and staying stagnant all the time. This summer, I'm going to be directing a musical called Songs for the New World. And it's specifically about moments in our lives where we're faced with a decision. And sometimes we make a choice. Sometimes we do nothing. And either one of them is a choice. And so it's important to recognize that inaction is a type of action sometimes. And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes doing nothing about a situation is all right. But if you don't even know, so you freeze, you get stuck in freeze, you got to look at it. You got to stare at it. You got to understand, like, one of the worst things in life is regret. It's when you look back because you can't change it, no matter what. And if you feel like you regret something, it can haunt you. So recognizing those things where you can make decisions in them now that are either actionable or intentional at the least, even if there's no action at all, not doing anything, it could be a game changer with that victim cycle you're talking about.
Totally.
So with your last year, you're going into your senior year here. You got your coaching business up, looking to try this 12-week program. Do you think that when you're done and when you graduate, would you be staying where you are? Or you think that you're going to take this show on the road, do some travel, do some spreading the word, and maybe getting out there and speaking in a bigger, hiring kind of thing, moving around? What do you look at that future for yourself as?
Yeah, I would love to. I work with a couple companies right now where I'll be gone the whole summer just with youth doing summer trips and youth camps and humanitarian trips that we lead with youth out there. So I'm just going to be with teens all summer and teaching them a lot of these same principles. After I do graduate though, I want to, and not even after I graduate, but in the fall, I want to start speaking to more schools and start there and do assemblies and everything that's there. And not really wait. It's going to be busy, but I just want to get started now. And so I would love to be in a place where we're going out all over the country. I mean, even internationally, heck, if I'm really dreaming big and just really using that. Also, not just because I love speaking and I love engaging people and teaching principles and doing that and getting paid for it, but also as a funnel just to bring more people. It's like, hey, if you loved this but want to take it to the next level, like I do one-on-one coaching. We have a program. Come hop in. Like, would love to have you.
Awesome.
And that's my dream. So
I love that. And you know what? Just from talking to you today, I know that you're going to fulfill every dream that you have because
thank you.
You are a dreamer, but you're also actionable. You take action and you also adjust. Sometimes life is about pivots, right? It's okay to change your mind. I have to tell youth that all the time. They're really faced with some challenges that they're coming out of high school with. Everyone's saying, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And that can be overwhelming if you're not sure yet. And so
Right.
I try to tell young people that things have changed, right? Even one generation ago, like my parents, 2 generations ago, for you guys, like 2 generations ago, people usually got into a career set and maybe they changed careers 3 to 4 times throughout their life. Now it's like 11 to 14 times throughout your life because you're, like you said, we have a responsibility to all the access and resources that we have now. It's a double-edged sword. If you're complaining because you binged a TV show for 4 days straight and watched every season, and now you're tired, you don't feel good, and you're behind, and you're late on your homework and all these things, I'm sorry. Let's talk about that. Hold a mirror up for a second. But the flip side is, you wanna learn a language? You can do that right now on YouTube for free. You wanna learn to play an instrument? You wanna learn how to change the oil in your car? Whatever you wanna know, you have it at your disposal now. So there's a responsibility there to understand that you can do things, but what that means is you're allowed to change your mind too. So if you decide, I'm gonna go to trade school. I'm gonna go learn to be a mechanic. You did not just cement your feet into the ground as a mechanic. You could also go learn to be a violinist. And if you wanna go and take
True.
a year to travel through Europe, you could do that. Like, you're allowed to
Yeah.
do things with your life and feel good about them, and so I think it's really great that you're a dreamer and you know what you wanna do, and it's gonna take you a lot of different places, and you seem so open to where it takes me is where it takes me. You're ready
Yeah.
for that, and that's a big
Mhm.
deal because you're also faith-based, you know what I mean? And so, like, I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, I imagine a lot of your connections and the coaching that you've done have been with people that you know, like, within maybe your congregation and people that are within your sphere,
Yeah.
of your, faith and stuff, but I've also been very aware of the fact that you're not in this hour we've spent together, you're not preaching. You're not talking about
Mm.
every single religious belief that you have. And that is so important in today's day and age because you carry that and you can go there whenever it's needed and you can take it and you can speak on it because it's important. But it's
Yeah.
you're not trying to like there's not a second ulterior motive there to do something. You know what I mean? Like people are wary about that stuff sometimes. And so you're smart with that because if it comes up and you can, it's right there and ready. If it's
For sure.
but you're like, but it helps me do what I wanna do to
Mhm.
help you. And so I don't have to go there, but I'm ready, you know? And so that's gonna guide you every step of your journey, man. So I'm really looking forward to
Sure.
see what you do next.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Brayden, this has been awesome, man. So before we wrap up, is there anything I missed? Is there anything you wanna tell everybody that you feel is like an important message that you haven't already said? Or anywhere that you think that they should go to, whether it's a website or social or something to get inspiration or help right now, like anything that we could leave, any feed.
No. If people are interested in talking more and wanna ask questions, like, I'll always respond to a DM on Instagram, so reach out. That's my most, like, present platform that I'm on right now, and so feel free to reach out. Anybody can. Anybody listening, I'm more than happy to hop on a call or listen or help out however I can, and the only thing that I would say is just dream like you were 3 years old again, and if there is something in your life that you would change that you didn't consider anybody else's opinion about or anybody else's limiting beliefs or how to get there, change whatever you need to and make it happen. You were born to be a dreamer and you were not born with limits. And so you're born to be a king, you're born to be a queen. Now go out and dream big because the world needs more dreamers
Mm,
like you.
amen. I love that, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah,
I
hey,
appreciate you.
Braden, you're awesome, man. I'm really happy for you, and let's stay in contact. And
Mm,
as you start getting out in there, let's circle back around, man. I've got plenty of engagements over here. I'd love to have you out here with our kiddos and talking to them. And I think that you're going
that'd
to
be
do
awesome.
great things with this world, man. Thank you for everything you do, and keep up the good work.
Appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
You too, brother. Take care.